What's up, fans? Sydney Colson here. Super excited to be in Indy. Cannot wait to see y'all in Cambridge. See you soon.
Sheryl Swoopes and other Caitlin Clark detractors have been claiming for months that no one wants to play for the Indiana Fever. But early this week, two-time WNBA champion Sydney Colson arrived in Indiana with a message that totally upended that notion.
I'm super excited about it. And I'm going from a team that was in the media, like people are excited to watch us, into another team that is arguably the most talked about team in sports right now, especially in women's sports. So this fan base, it's exciting to be a part of a team that has a lot of positive energy around it.
Colson's first day with the team was a direct slap in the face to everyone who questioned this franchise. From a moment she held up her new Fever jersey to her excited appearance at the Pacers game. Her remarks at her press conference may have been the strongest defense of Clark we've heard from a veteran player yet. So are you ready to join us?
Oh, girl, I'm gonna put on some other clothes. Oh, dope. I thought I saw the reflection when I was coming across the street. I'm like, wait a minute. Hello. What up, baby? How are you? Long time no see. It's been a month.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes said that no one wanted to play because of the Fever? Sydney Colson just blown that story out of proportion, and her first day in Indiana tells a whole other tale. The team's viral arrival video, which showed teammates and staff running to greet Sydney with genuine excitement and open arms as soon as she walked through the doors of the Fever facility, instantly changed the atmosphere. This wasn't a staged public relations gimmick. Instead, you could see the genuine joy radiating from everyone in the building as they embraced their newest teammate.
Hey! Hi! Hi!
Hi!
Oh, it's good to see you!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's up, baby?
How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. What up, A?
Glad you're in here.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
What up, Sid?
How you doing?
Meet you.
I heard bad things about you from A.
Horrible. You know.
The video depicts a totally different story of unity and excitement for what's to come, which is what makes this even more significant. The sharp contrast between this warm welcome and the harsh criticism we've heard from Swoopes and other critics who said established veterans would rather flee than play alongside Caitlin Clark.
Jersey! Aww! Dope. Yes. It's so weird to see yourself in new colors. I love it. I love it. I love it. What's this?
That must be they sent you a Fever. They want to make sure you had one.
You should have seen Sydney's face when she first saw her new Fever jersey. Her excitement and pride were evident as she held it up, beaming from ear to ear, and declared her love for the new team colors. This moment wasn't just about donning another uniform. It was about a new chapter, a new opportunity, and yes, the opportunity to be a part of something special that was happening in Indiana. Her contacts with the Fever personnel were similarly instructive. Amber Cox, the general manager, said bluntly, "I think she's going to bring a lot of joy to our lives this season."
It was somebody we targeted really, really early to come in and play that backup point guard role. We have ultimate faith and trust in her in any situation that we put her in. She's going to be able to lead our team. And obviously, great personality as well, brings a lot of fun and levity to the locker room. Again, that experience, knows when we need which side, right? Like the serious, the tough veteran leadership versus the, fun, playful Sid. So I think she's going to bring a lot of joy to all of our lives this season.
Sydney's instant rapport with everyone she met says a lot about the culture being established within this company, one that is completely at odds with the unfavorable narratives propagated by some former players. The speed at which Sydney's arrival video went viral on social media is very intriguing. Fans weren't just celebrating the signing of a new player, they were uniting around Sydney's sincere excitement about joining this team. This kind of genuine connection can't be produced, and it's exactly what makes the critics' claims seem more desperate and out of touch, according to Fever's metrics, which showed that the post absolutely exploded, receiving thousands of likes and retweets in a matter of hours.
When we set out in free agency, it was to bring in veteran leadership And we've done that. Players who have had deep playoff runs, we've done that. You look at a player like Sydney Colson, coming off what she's been able to do in Vegas, dating back to her, championship in Texas A&M. She's a winner, knows how to win, knows how to play a role. So she was somebody we targeted really early, but, just looking down the line in free agency, just really excited. When the plan comes together, you feel really good about it. Again, it looks great on paper. We got to get everybody on the court, but overall, really excited about the roster.
However, Sydney wasn't just there for the cameras. She showed why the team wanted her from the first day of practice. Her exceptional dedication, skills, and contagious energy reinforced why they needed her veteran presence. This wasn't a player who was reluctant to join a team, but one who was eager to get started.
It was Amber and Kelly, Stephanie, Kelsey I played with at Athletes Unlimited for several years. Love Caitlin's game, love Aaliyah's game. It made sense. I made this decision mentally before DB and Natasha were even a part of the mix. And so all the new additions, Breezy, Sophie, it's going to be a fun season.
Most people are unaware of this, but the time of Sydney's arrival makes it much more significant. Sydney chose Indiana because she wanted to be there regardless of who else might join the roster after the fact. The critics who said veterans would avoid Indiana at all costs now have some serious explaining to do, because not only did Sydney consciously choose to join the Fever before other stars like Natasha Howard and Dananna Bonner signed, but her sincere excitement about the opportunity completely contradicts the negative narrative surrounding Clark in this franchise.
All right, switching gears now, we are looking forward to a new season for the Indiana Fever, now less than 2 months away. And today we formally introduced the team, formally introduced its newest player.
Yes, so here she is. This is guard Sydney Colson. She is joining the Fever following 3 seasons with the Las Vegas Aces. That is where she helped the team win back-to-back WNBA titles in 2022 and 23.
When asked what she hopes to bring to the Fever, Sydney Colson had the ideal opportunity to give a diplomatically ambivalent response. However, what she said during her first press conference with the Fever sent shockwaves through the basketball world. The scene at the Indiana Fever press room was electric, with journalists crammed in close quarters and cameras ready, all waiting for the veteran champion to potentially validate the narrative that established players resent Clark's spotlight. The tension in the room was palpable for months, as critics like Cheryl Swoops had pushed the idea that veterans would feel uncomfortable with all the attention focused on a rookie.
What was it like to watch what Caitlin did for this franchise from afar? Different perspective.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. There's no other way to say it. It was nuts. I think, you're seeing a team that's now affecting the economy in the city. You got people coming from out of town, out of state, out of the country, maybe even to see games. And so that's special.
You've been studying.
Huh?
You've been studying those studies.
Yeah, man, I try to pay attention, but no, it's been cool to see. Caitlin's a remarkable player. She's going to be good here for a long time, so I know people are excited about.
You could hear a pin drop when a reporter finally posed the question that everyone had been anticipating. What did Sydney truly think of Clark's influence on Indianapolis and the WNBA? Without hesitation, Sydney said the 3 words that would totally destroy the hate narrative with total genuineness and a trace of awe in her voice. It was insane.
Stephanie just talked to me about how she saw me fitting in as a piece on court for the team, and that was really important to me. Like you said, I've been in the league. This is my 14th season out of college, and I've never been considered a lot in free agency, and so for her to see my value, it meant a lot. How she was, working me in to be a part of the team, and I said I want to play on court more in my last couple seasons in the league if I have that. So this was just the right fit, right?
The atmosphere changed, and this wasn't the grudging acceptance that many had anticipated. Sydney's body language revealed the truth. She was genuinely excited, leaning forward in her chair and making confident gestures as she elaborated on her response. Her expressions showed unmistakable respect for what Clark had accomplished rather than any trace of resentment. Sydney went even farther when discussing the economic impact Clark has had on Indianapolis, drawing supporters not only from within the city, but also from outside the state and country. She spoke of this phenomenon with pride rather than jealousy, stating that it wasn't a veteran reluctantly embracing a rookie's fame, but rather a champion embracing it.
You see your role being with this team then, given the roster that you're coming into?
I think similar to other places where I've been, I'm bringing veteran leadership, knowledge, energy, like swinging the defensive momentum, and just being that person that's dependable. And I'm gonna always come in and do my job, and I'm gonna be happy in my role, and I'll thrive whether it's 8 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, if it's 2 minutes. I'm gonna play hard and get everybody involved, and I want to win ultimately.
The statement Sydney made about the Fever being arguably the most talked about team in sports right now was perhaps the most telling because it directly contradicted everything the critics had been saying. Rather than avoiding the attention that comes with being Clark's teammate, Sydney was celebrating it, and her confident demeanor and sincere smile made it obvious that this wasn't just PR speak.
I hear and see the things that people say, but I know the true Indiana Fever fans, the ones that love basketball, that they love the WNBA. I'm excited to be playing in front of them and just with this team.
In what may be the most potent endorsement to date from a seasoned player, Sydney wasn't done shattering the hater narrative. She described Caitlin as an exceptional player who would be good here for a long time. There was no hesitancy, no ambiguity, no backhanded compliments, just straightforward respect from one professional to another.
You anticipate it being like to be part of all these sellouts and being the biggest show on wherever you go now?
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be remarkable. And what I always thought about when I was on a team that wasn't getting that kind of visibility, whenever you go play the teams that are, that's when you bring your best game. Because now it's all eyes on your team too, and people, hopefully will be tuning into our games and seeing players from other teams that they like, that are exciting, because there are a lot of good players around this league. So I think what we're going to be able to do, what the Aces, the New Yorks, what we're able to do is elevate the game and get people to respect our entire league, not just a few teams.
It was clear that Sydney's voice was sincere. For all the talking heads who claimed that veterans would dislike Clark's popularity, this wasn't just hollow praise. It was an acknowledgement of Clark's authenticity from someone who understands what greatness looks like. Sydney's words and actions demonstrated the exact opposite, demonstrating that great champions value and acknowledge talent regardless of background or age.
How to persevere, not getting too high or too low, and just playing as a team, and it can make all the world a difference to win. And we've got a very hungry team here. I've said several times, a lot of people didn't want to see Indiana after their all-star break, how they came and finished the season. Nobody wanted to see them in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see that group back, but also adding in a lot of veteran experience and a lot of winning veteran experience.
Sydney also took the time to thank the devoted Indiana Fever supporters, saying, "I know the true Indiana Fever fans, the ones that love basketball, that they love the WNBA, and I'm excited to be playing in front of them, and just with this team." Her remarks demonstrated gratitude for both the current fan base and the fresh enthusiasm Clark has brought.
A lot of players from a lot of places coming together in sort of a new look to a roster like this. What's the secret to making this all gel, ultimately, when it comes time to put it together?
Well, I think that everybody asked the questions that they needed to ask in free agency, and they trusted what they heard. And so now it's just about everybody showing up and doing the role that people expect you to do. If I'm known for my defense and playmaking, I have to come in and do that. People are expecting certain things out of you. The coaches are expecting certain things, your teammates are. So it's just being a professional, showing up and doing your job so that everything can gel together and come with a good attitude so we can make it work.
When the Fever started to, casual fans of Sydney Colson thought this was simply another roster change, but basketball insiders spotted something much more important right away. There's a reason why this addition could be the last major move in a championship blueprint that has been subtly developing throughout the offseason.
We're excited to be in the city, to be in the community, just showing that we care, that we want to immerse ourselves here. And, I think they are welcoming us with open arms.
Despite having outstanding young stars in Aaliyah Boston, let's go back to where the Fever was before the season. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Holiday needed players who understood what it takes to win at the highest level, not just any veterans. but ones who could embrace a team suddenly thrust into the spotlight with Clark's arrival. Critics like Swoops doubled down on their argument that no veteran wants to play second fiddle to a rookie getting all the attention, but GM Amber Cox and the Fever front office weren't listening to the noise. They were executing a flawless game. Indiana struggled defensively and lacked the veteran leadership needed to guide their developing core.
It's painfully clear, and what I've talked about in my other videos is that the league, the Fever organization are doing everything they should do to make sure their star is happy and that their star gets a ring. I didn't know they were going to load up like this, though. Dewana Bonner, Sydney Colson, just re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. You already have Aaliyah Boston. You have Caitlin. You have Lexi.
You may wonder why a backup guard is such a big deal. Image those skills combined with Caitlin Clark, or image Colson taking over when Clark needs a break on the bench. Colson is not your usual bench player. She is a defensive dynamic with court vision that would make an Eagle envy and a three-point shooting that is pure silk.
Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like Dewana Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and Lexi.
Let's break it down. Colson won't dominate the scoreboard every night, but that isn't why the Fever brought her in. They already have a lot of firepower. What they needed was a covert weapon who could block opponents, make the right move, and block shots when it counts most.
I hope that some of y'all, if y'all are not familiar with Sydney Colson, I hope y'all, watch some highlights of her, because don't just be like, oh, Sydney Colson, she barely scored last year. She's not good for the Indiana Fever. No, she is. She is. Don't worry.
There's more. Colson brings something to the table that statistics leadership cannot quantify. She's been there, done that, and has the championship rings to prove it. 2 of them, to be exact. That winning mentality is contagious and could be the catalyst for a championship run for a young team like the Fever.
Clark actually spoke on this on Sunday, and she had this to say, quote, "I'm excited. Obviously, we made some great moves. I think Kelly and Amber and the whole Fever organization are helping us to win now, and I think that's really important. I think they're putting really good pieces together that are going to complement each other really, really well." And then she continued talking about Steph, their new head coach, and said that Steph taking over as head coach for us, I think, is going to be really great. A great basketball mind, someone that actually called quite a few of my college games. So being able to build that relationship with her and just be in the gym and work on things that she probably saw when I was a freshman in college.
Consider it. Sydney Colson is the ideal mentor for Clark and Mitchell, teaching them the ropes and keeping them steady under pressure. The Fever's backcourt is full of talented players, but they were lacking that seasoned presence, someone who has been through the wars and knows what it takes to win at the highest level.